2017 Harris poll found that 12% of millennials identify as transgender. Additionally, a 2018 survey showed that 35% of Gen Z know someone who uses gender-neutral pronouns. So we can see that gender-neutral is becoming more accepted and welcomed in society, which is a huge positive step forward. This being said, I am looking into gender-neutral packaging and the stereotypes that come along with gender. So what defines gender-neutral packaging? And why should gender-neutral packaging have to be so minimalistic and simple? Going back to the very beginning, the birth of colour was approximately 40,000 years ago. Dirt, earth, crushed stone, ground bone and charcoal were combined with animal fat, saliva or water to create a paste that had a paint-like consistency. At first in ancient Egypt around 3000 BC, colour was used for decorative design inspired by nature, using colours such as black, brown, red, green and blue. However, the Roman Empire used colours for social meaning. Deep reds, rich greens and Tyran purple, a dye created from sea snails, signified wealth and status, marking one of the earliest examples of colour being linked to hierarchy and stereotypes. Furthermore, the Greeks saw black, white, red and yellow as elemental hues representing water, air, fire and earth, a view that shaped European thinking for centuries. Similarly, Chinese philosophy connects colours to 5 elements: wood, fire, earth, metal and water. Dr. Vane Chung discusses colour and its influence and impact on the way we live, and I felt as though this was interesting when having gender in mind too.
Such use of colour to stereotype can generate problems with damaging consequences. We only have to think of how a parent coding according to their colour is detrimental to equality, diversity and inclusivity. However, these social connotations are changing slowly. Nowadays, social conditioning in the UK assigns pink to baby girls and blue to baby boys. However, about 100 years ago, pink was regarded as a strong and masculine color, and blue was perceived as a delicate color. Color association can not only develop over time, but also can be completely reversed.
Linking my ideas to the typography side of design, the documentary Helvetica by Gary Husworth includes useful commentary on the role of typography in design, which links to the idea of gender-neutral design in multiple ways. Stereotypes or biases are avoided by gender-neutral design, and Helvetica, the typeface, is a strong symbol for neutrality and all-around appeal. The simplicity of the typeface is emphasised by many designers in Helvetica. Massimo Vignelli states,
"There are people that think that the type should be expressive. That they have a different point of view from mine. I don't think type should be expressive at all. I mean, I can write the word dog with any typeface, and it doesn't have to look like a dog, you know. But there are people that when they write dog, it should bark, you know."
This lack of personality and expression can be seen as deliberate design choices that make Helvetica a neutral and appealing typeface without any biases. Gender-neutral design often reflects a similar minimalistic approach because it avoids decorative elements that may be linked to customary gender standards. The documentary shows that when we look at Helvetica as neutral and functional, we can see design principles connect with the aims of gender-neutral design. Branding is also key when looking into the history and research done on gender-neutral design. Brands and businesses used to rely heavily on stereotypes, especially on consumer goods. For example, kids' toys were being divided in shops because of pink and blue packaging, which pushes for the ideas about gender roles from an early age. However, companies like Lego and Mattel are now quickly moving away from gender design, focusing on toys that all children can get creative with, regardless of their gender. These toys include non-gender specific dolls, buildable toys that don't have any gender cues involved, and even unisex clothing and hairstyles. This shift shows a new awareness of the harmful impact of these biases and how making a change can make an impact in society, especially as more people now see gender as a spectrum. However, as designer and researcher Gloria Moss noted,
found over and over again in one study after another that women prefer the designs that women create, and men prefer the designs that men create.
So, how do we create designs that truly rise above these gender biases? One approach is gender-fluid design, which goes further than the binary to include qualities traditionally seen as masculine or feminine. This is about mixing, blending, and reimagining design elements so they can relate to anyone, challenge stereotypes, and celebrate diversity. It is an approach that allows for richer, more in-depth designs that avoid excluding non-dominant genders and instead create an appeal to everyone. A really interesting individual I looked into when researching for gender-neutral design was Aries Maros, whose non-binary identity influences their work massively. They quote, "I hate the homogenization of design," showing that they are of the same opinion as me, and seeing generic, safe and standard design work for gender-neutral or gender-specific products is frustrating and unnecessary when there is a world of creativity out there. Their emphasis on the need for practical skills and real-world understanding in the design industry is also key when looking at gender-neutral design, as those who are uneducated could be making subconscious mistakes which are reinforcing gender in society. Universal design was a concept that originated in the context of architecture, asserting the importance of accessible environments for everyone. Within graphic design, universal design has also become synonymous with Swiss design due to its emphasis on supposed neutrality. The reality of Swiss design is that it executes the idea that masculinity is the norm. Masculinity equates to neutrality. The same can be seen in the fashion industry too, as many gender-neutral fashion designs are just menswear that women will also wear. An example is the fashion brand I and Me, who claimed that their brand was gender-neutral, but it was just seen to be women and men in their menswear range. Now moving on to another concept which deepened my gender-neutral design research. This diagram on screen really helps to understand the concept of designing for the pluriverse, which is about not just making everyone else adapt to the social norms of masculine design. The design structure of the diagram actually reminded me of the works of Karel Martens, a Dutch graphic designer whose work focuses on form, colour, texture and abstraction, rather than the specific content or narrative, which could be a good approach to creating gender-neutral design that still includes form and colour. Overall, I feel as though a crucial step in developing fair and inclusive environments that values and accepts a range of identities is gender-neutral design, but this subject is an aspect of a larger phenomenon that is still being developed and needs more investigation. There is still so much more to learn about cultural, social and practical implications of gender-neutral techniques, even though this video touches on some of the important topics. Gender-neutral packaging does not mean compromising on creativity, but rather discovering design possibilities that work for everyone.